Hey guys, and welcome to another episode. Today I'm going to show you how to clean out your spray gun after you're done dipping a car. Earlier this week I finished spraying my brother's Mini Cooper and it went from a pepper white regular paint to burnt copper plasti dip, and it looks unreal. I'll show you a couple clips right now of it. Now the paint gun that I have right here is the exact same one that I used when I was spraying it. Now, I wanted to leave this alone and not clean it so I can make this video for you. This is essentially worst case scenario. So after you dip your car, this is once you don't clean it, don't run any thinner or anything through it. So all that plastic dip is basically there, cured and baked onto this. So today I'm gonna show you how to take this apart, clean it up, remove all the paint thinner, and then put it back together so it's good for the next time you wanna spray a car. Gun maintenance is important whether you're using a regular DYC spray gun or if you're using an actual HVLP gun. Now, regardless, whichever of the two that you use, you need to take care of it so that the next time you want to use it and spray a car or a panel or anything, it works properly and you're not going to have any problems with it. If you don't clean out your gun like what I'm going to show you how to do right now, the next time that you use this, you might get a very uneven fan pattern, it might not spray properly, it might spit plasti dip out when you're holding onto the trigger, or some other kind of problem. So ideally, you'd want to clean out your gun as soon as you're done dipping so all the plasti dip is fresh. If you're going to be letting it sit for a while, you're going to have a harder time cleaning it out. However, it still is manageable. So step one is open this up, take the hopper out, get some paint thinner and put it inside of here. Let it swirl up, put it back on, and then turn on your spray gun and spray some of that thinner that's now in here somewhere so that all that paint thinner can cycle up through the gun, liquefy all the plastic that's still inside the tip, the nozzle and all that, so that once we take this all apart, none of the plastic dip is really baked on there and really cured properly. So open this up. Now you don't need to put too much of it in there, you just want a little bit. Enough that it'll actually spray. Just like that. Now I'm pretty sure this is right here, right between the 8 and the 16 ounce line. Once you have that in there, put the gun back on. And then we're gonna agitate this so we can try and reliquefy all that plastic dip that's in there. Put the paint thinner inside the hopper, hook it up to your spray station, turn it on, and then you're gonna let it shoot and clear out the internals that are in here. Now don't forget when you spraying this stuff, don't forget to put on your paint mask, because once you start spraying, all this paint thinner is gonna get thrown up in the air because you still have overspray. Now don't forget that whenever you're using paint thinner, you always wanna wear gloves and a face mask. So when I was spraying it, I had my mask on. Set that aside. I'm gonna open this up so we can disassemble the spray gun and do a better job of cleaning out the internals. So with that all wet, I'm gonna take out the feeder here, put that inside, take off this little filter. Now that's probably been on there for a good couple days. Remove your tip. Dump this into the bucket. Like that. Take this little guy out, the tip right there, and then you're going to move the selector, feed it through the middle, and then put that inside the bucket as well. Now, with a gun like this, we basically got it disassembled so we can clean out the threads, the breather and air tube, or the breather and the pickup tube. We can clean out the tip inside the gun, and we can also clean up around it. I don't know how well the camera is going to pick all this up, but there's dried up plastic dip all inside of here. And if you can see, it's that copper color just like for my brother's car. So we still have plasti dip inside of here. Now what I'm gonna use to clean all this up is not that expensive. I've got a little kit that I picked up on Amazon. It's a spray gun cleaning kit. And as you can see, I've got basically everything I need to get inside all the hard to reach areas. So I've got a big brush, a thin brush, a little metal pick, what looks like a toothbrush, another brush like this, and then I've got some toothpicks that I'm going to be using to cleaning out the inside. Now ideally you're going to want to have all those pieces that are inside of here completely submerged inside the paint thinner. It's going to break down all the plastic dip with the solvent, and it's going to make it simple so we can clean it out with these little tools right here. So we'll be using the assortment of tools that I've got right here. I'll put a link in the description for it. You guys can pick that up and basically do the exact same thing that I'm doing right here. So if you put paint thinner on here, you can clean up the threads, very easily. Now you can use this, you can use the little paintbrush thing, but ideally you want it completely covered with paint thinner. So see how easy this stuff is coming off? See, like that big black chunk comes off in 2 seconds. If the brush gets too dirty, dump it back in there so you get fresh stuff. And look at this, it goes back to new in a matter of seconds. Now I'm gonna reach in here and take out one piece at a time and clean this up. So I'm gonna get my toothbrush right here, put some paint thinner on it, and then agitate all these threads. So after you're done each one of these pieces, set them aside and start working on the next. Each one of these little pieces needs to be cleaned out a certain way. So like for something like this, you wanna make sure that you clean out all the stuff on the inside, and you have to get inside each one of the little holes in there so the air passages can work properly. So this is the little selector. You have to make sure that each one of the little orifices gets fully cleaned out. If you still have plastic dip inside of there, when you spray your gun, you're not gonna get a straight up and down fan pattern. You might get one that's curved, one that looks kind of like a little football, or something kind of crazy. You have to make sure that you clean each one of these little holes inside of there properly. And you can see that the air passages go all the way to the back. So for this, you wanna soak it in thinner, and then get either a toothpick or a little metal prick, and just punch in each one of those little holes to make sure that air can go through them. Each one of them, there's 8 little holes, make sure you stick them in all of them. And then afterwards, soak it in thinner, and make sure that everything is just clean. Once it's fully clean, it'll look something like this. And then after that, we can set this aside and start working on the next one. So basically when you're doing these, you want to soak it inside the thinner, agitate any plastic dip that's still on there, agitate it with a brush, soak it back in, rinse anything off, and then set it aside and then work on to the next one. Once you've got all of those cleaned up, you want to make sure that this little filter here gets perfectly clean, because this is what makes the seal on your paint cup and the actual gun. So let it soak in there, get a brush or a towel or something, clean up, and just make sure that there's no plastic that's still stuck on here. You want to make sure you get both sides, the outside part and the inside, so that when we put this back on the gun, you're going to get a nice perfect seal. If one of these little filters that you put in between the cup and the actual spray gun, if this deteriorates and starts to get old, you're gonna have to replace this with a new one. Now, if you have a DYC spray gun and you bought a Pro Car Kit from dipyourcar.com, an extra one of these is included inside all the little stuff that comes with it. So open up the little bag and you should have an extra one of these and an extra one of the filters that come on the back side of the spray station. So like the chamber that makes all the air come out, I'm gonna show you guys what I'm talking about. Before I take the filter out of the HVLP motor that's attached to the spray gun, I'm going to show you how to clean out the internals of this. So now that we have all those little plastic pieces all taken care of, we now have to clean out the inside of here. So what this involves is we're going to have to clean out all the plastic that's still stuck on the inside of the gun. I'm agitating the entire internals with that little toothbrush, paint thinner, and then afterwards I'm going to come in with the towel to pick all that stuff up. Now if you have any plastic that's still built up inside of here, you really want to clean it out and basically make it look like it's new again. This way the cup is going to seal properly, the paint gun is going to spray properly, and it's going to be working how it's supposed to. As you can see, there's a lot of junk that comes out when you clean this. Use whatever you can to get this clean. You can use that little toothbrush kind of thing, you can use this little brush that I've got. Now all this stuff you can pick up in that link that I'm going to be including in the description box. It's got everything you need to clean out your gun. So once you clean all this stuff up, you now have to clean out inside of there. So the little pickup tube and the air hose. I'm going to be using these 2 little brushes when I clean it out, and it's going to allow me to get inside of there and clean up everything. So soak it in the paint thinner, stick it inside each one of the holes, one for the front, one for the back, and then all the plastic should essentially be cleaned out. Now you're probably going to have to make a couple passes at this, only because, well, you got a lot of plastic dip inside the gun. This is where it all gets shot into. And you want to make sure that you get all the way down into the end of the first one. So if this is the front end of the gun, you're going to want to get that first hole completely cleaned out, and you should have an opening at the end of it. Make sure you clean that up properly, dry it off, and then you're essentially done. Now after you're done cleaning out the bottom side of this, you want to make sure that you clean out this tip area. So I'm just gonna get one of these little scrubbers, put it inside my paint thinner, and then agitate that until it's completely clean. Right now there's still a little bit of the plastic that's still left in there from before. Just come in here, it takes 2 minutes, agitate it all, and then wipe it away with a rag. What I like doing after I've got the entire internals cleaned out is I like putting it all back together. So put the little breather hose down on the bottom facing forward, get your tip, mount it up through the top of the gun, get that secondary tip where all the air comes through on top, your cap, thread it on, get that little seal, mount it up underneath, and then I like putting paint thinner inside my cup, putting a decent amount in there so there's enough that I can spray out the gun, and then I like shooting this paint thinner through the gun just so it cleans everything out. So if I missed anything, this will essentially re-liquefy most of the stuff that's in there and spit it out the tip. So just make sure that's on there good. Put it through. And then hook this up to your HVLP motor and then spray this until only clear fluid comes out. After you have the internals of the gun all cleaned out, you now want to make sure that the HVLP system gets clean air next time you get the thing going. So open up this little tab at the back, lift this up and out, and you'll get access to the little filter and storage container that's back here. Now you want to get rid of all of that little stuff that's on the inside. It's basically old plastic dip, kind of like fuzz, that's in there that gets sucked in because all the air gets sucked in through here. So to clean this out, I'm gonna get this and get an air compressor and just blow all this out, and all this should be essentially clean after that. Now for the filter, you can do one of two things. You have to clean this out somehow. So what I'm gonna do is do this. I'm gonna first grab this, put it up to an air compressor, and spray it from the back side so all this stuff, all this plastic up here, gets shot out this way and not into the filter. After that, if there's any more, I'll let it sit inside the paint thinner that's still left inside the paint gun. As you guys can tell, there's still a little bit of plastic dip that's in this filter, so I'm just gonna get this, put it inside of my little paint cup, and let the paint thinner inside of there agitate and break down the plastic dip, so that when I take it out, it should be all clean. As you guys can see already, you can see that the paint thinner isn't clear anymore. See how it's changing color? That means it's breaking it down and cleaning out our filter so that next time it's only gonna be breathing in nice clean air. So I just let this sit for a good 5-10 minutes, and after you take it out, you can see that it's basically brand new. There's no plastic dip that's on here. Let this drip, and then actually get an air compressor and blow all this off so this is all dry. Once that's done, you can get your little filter, put it back in here, and put that little tray back on top of here. That's gonna seal all this stuff up and make sure that our HVLP motor is good for next time. Now for good measure, the last thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some water, put it inside of here, and then run it through the gun, just so I don't have any solvents left in my system. Now because I'm working with a plastic DYC spray gun, you don't want any solvents left inside of there for a long time. So get some water, put it inside your cup, and just spray this through the gun until you're basically empty. It's gonna make sure that all the solvents get moved through the water, and then next time our gun is gonna be working 100% guaranteed. This way it's gonna be essentially a brand new spray gun every time. Now guys, don't forget after you're done doing all this stuff to clean out all of your tools and brushes that you used with water, just so that the paint thinner doesn't dissolve any of the brushes or anything that you were using. Now if you guys have any questions regarding the video, please post them down in the comments below and I'd be happy to help. Again guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.